Go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Tufts Gaming Hub. Tonight, we have Tufts University Blue against University of North Carolina Chapel Hill White. Very long name, I must admit. And very excited. Playfly Open Plus. The producer, John Cheeto. I was just looking at my Discord overlay, and I almost said the overlay name. But leaving that aside, I'm joined tonight by Rose, if you may introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Rose, and I'll be casting again. As we get started on Antarctic Peninsula, we do see a very unorthodox comp coming out from UNC, but I don't know if that's going to be the one they roll out of the doors with. The meta looks relatively unchanged. We do see this Metro, but I imagine that might change. Yep, it's going to be going on to the venture, and UNC does look like they are going to stay on this comp, which is definitely not what we've typically seen, especially on Antarctic Peninsula. We'll see if the Ash can really get anything done with that longer range, whereas Tufts will have this more brawly short-range comp. It's a beautiful wall that locks the Orisa in place, but so far no kills being traded over. The Juno looks very, very dangerous and does end up going down, but it is traded for the life of the Venture. The Orisa's 1 HP, but doesn't end up going down, and it's a clean 4v4 between these two teams as they just brawl it out. So far it looks like UNC is actually doing quite well as they end up taking down both the Junker Queen and the Mei, and it should be UNC taking first control of this point. Yeah, just a bit more trading, trying to get some of that ultimate progress up. And so far, UNC is looking really good. I think one of the big differences so far is this Mei, where UNC's Mei is almost towards that Blizzard, whereas Tufts is only halfway there, which I think will make a big difference. UNC coming up on 3 ultimates, actually, and consistently also just getting these fantastic nades. So far, a Nano going through, and UNC is able to push back Tufts quite a bit, but no kills going through. And the Rampage gets cancelled. The Junker Queen ends up going down before the Rampage can come through, and that is a clean 5-for-0 kill score. And more importantly, the Rampage was also used and got no value.
So Tufts here back again, trying to go back in the drawing board, basically, to put it in a way. 50% here in the side of UNC. You know, when I first saw the Playfly ranks, it was very different. Like, Tufts ranks were much higher. So currently, with what I'm seeing, I'm pleasantly surprised, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, I think UNC is doing fantastic so far. Tufts ends up swapping onto the Ramatra, as well as this Tracer. And we'll see if that can really make a difference in this fight. So far, once again, Tufts does manage to actually get a sneaky cap onto the point, but that Tracer is 1 HP. The rally does get popped, and the health bars of Tufts are looking really, really bad, as the Blizzard also gets dropped. It's a couple kills traded back and forth, but it does look like UNC is getting the better of Tufts here, and they're off to a very commanding lead in this first map.
Yeah, up to 70%, entering final fight territory here. Tufts did switch to the Ramatra Tracer. Shamrock staying on the break, but it seems in this first fight they might have done a bit. Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean that was just, very, very clean shot, and I mean Tufts just has to wait a little bit, regroup, and this is going to be coming up onto final fight territory for UNC, and it is looking pretty dubious for Tufts, as they have no ultimates compared to UNC's 3, and they really just have to brawl their way on here. So far, I think the biggest thing is that we're seeing UNC getting all of these opening picks, which we saw Tufts being able to do last in our previous games, and that is just a clean 100 to 27% cap on the first point of Antarctic Peninsula. We'll see if Tufts can really make any kind of comeback as the game progresses.
I personally do think they can make a comeback. I just don't know what's going on in their comms right now. I'm very curious to know and understand what they might be talking about right now, because this is the first... No, actually, they did play over the weekend because they're also playing Overwatch Homecoming. but I don't think they were expecting such opposition in Playfly. So it's going to be
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
interesting how, it seems they finally have some competition. It seems this team is very well coached. So let's see what can they bring, because we know they have like the mechanics
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
go up to par with UNC White.
Yeah, it's really just going to be on these opening picks, and I think the biggest difference so far has been these Ononades, and which have been very, very good from the side of UNC, and they're doing a really good job in getting Azulo and putting a lot of pressure onto that front line of Tufts. So far, this Ashe is playing really far back, as one would expect, and just damage being traded out. And it's the Ana that goes down first, which I think is really big. From here, Tufts should have a very easy time cleaning up the rest of the fight, or at least pushing back UNC. It does look like that is going to happen as they get the first flip of the point,
I,
as they start ticking it up.
I love the discipline here by UNC. As you can see, as soon as they lose that Ana, they know they lose one of their main support, one of their main heal contributors. And as soon as they saw that, they just pushed back, waited to regroup, and now are going to go once again into the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really, really well played. But that is a really clean Junker Queen knife, pulling the Mei off the high ground. But it doesn't look like it's actually going to pick up the kill, and instead it's actually Tufts that loses both the Tracer and the Brigitte. So far, they do manage to trade the Maid back, and it is a 4v5, but Tufts is starting to get cleaned up here at the end, and it is just the Mei that ends up going down, so just a very clean fight from the side of UNC. I think that was off the back of that very good Mei wall that managed to really isolate some of the squishier Tufts members.
Trying to figure out where the Tracer might be here from the Ashe. Might be in the wrong spot though,
Yeah.
because Brohouse all the way down. As you can see, oh, they found them.
Yep. Just trading out a bit. A good chunk onto the Ashe, but I don't imagine that's going to end up resulting in much. The Ice Block does end up getting used, and the Tracer immediately goes down, but it is in exchange for the Juno, which is pretty big. Juno's a really big difference maker here, and as the ultis are getting popped from both sides, and it does look like Tufts is doing quite well here. The Junker Queen does end up getting slept, but I don't think that's going to make a difference, as the Orisa is now completely alone, aside from the help of Bob, and Tufts is able to flip that point right back over, with 50% on the clock, on the percentage big for UNC, and Tufts reaching quite the same amount, close to the same amount. A bit of a flank here from the Junker Queen, but does end up getting walled off, so this is looking a little bit dubious. The Pulse Bomb does not stick, but it does end up getting the kill anyways, as the Orbital Rape gets dropped from UNC, and Burphouse is really just cleaning up this backline, and it should be Tufts picking up another fight win here, with only one ultimate invested, two ultimates invested. Yeah, I mean, Tufts is pushing up really far up here, and this is because of that fight win. They might actually be able to be closing up on final fight territory here, with one Blizzard, which is going to be a really big deal, especially in the face of that the Orisa pushing in on UNC. Although they can just ignore that slow with a Fortify. We'll see if the Blizzard ends up getting much value here, as well as this Terra Surge that's coming out. The Blizzard gets popped. It doesn't look like it's getting too much value so far, as it's the invulnerable Orisa and Mei so far that are getting hit, as the stream briefly lags.
Yeah, it's lagging
Can't
for me
quite
too.
see what's going on. It does look like UNC is picking up a couple of kills here. Tufts trading them back, and it is Tufts that ends up winning the fight, and they should be able to just even up that map score as we head to match point in our Antarctic Peninsula.
Yeah, my FPS kind of had a bit of a drop there for a second.
Yeah, no worries.
That can happen sometimes. We are trusting school Ethernet here. I do have Ethernet on, which, by the way, Tufts does have really good Ethernet for anybody wondering, but it can sometimes go and, cause lags like this one. So apologies if that happens. I'm running my stream for a laptop. It's not the most professional setting out here.
Yeah, and I think we very briefly saw a swap onto the Echo, but it does look like it's going to be mirrored Ashes from either side. And the only difference here is going to be the Orisa and the Ana. I would like to see Tufts put a little bit more pressure onto this backline of UNC, because the one thing that the Brigitte does bring is that ability to protect the other support. And so if Tufts is able to get some damage, get some pressure, especially from their DPS onto the Juno of UNC, I think that'll be a big difference maker here. The Junker Queen does drag the Orisa off the high ground, but it doesn't look like it's going to make too much of a difference just yet, as it's just damage being traded out back and forth. Wow, advancing really aggressively, and it is going to pay off as they get both backliners from the side of UNC, and it's no healers on the side of UNC against just the tank down from Tufts, and Tufts should be able to pick up this first point, although UNC did very briefly get a flip. They should be able to get a good amount of percentage off of this as well.
Yeah, so 11% here for the side of UNC, which is at least something. It slows Tufts a bit down, but Tufts now starting to rack up, and at least they're going to make it to 30% until the end of this upcoming fight.
Yeah, everything looking very, very even so far, though, despite the early fight win. So we'll see what Tufts can get done as these ultimates start to build up. This Orisa taking a very aggressive flank, and Tufts is a bit split here with 3 members on that backside. They're slowly trying to rotate around, and Burphouse is playing very far forward compared to the Ashe on UNC. And it is the Orisa that ends up going down first, as the rest of the team wasn't quite able to follow, and UNC is just falling one after another now. They're not quite able to find that momentum that they had in that first map. Bob gets used as the rest of UNC dies, and I really do question that decision there.
Well, Burphouse did fall.
Yeah, but UNC won't be able to contest the point by the time everybody is able to regroup from the side of Tufts, so it does end up kind of just being a wasted ulti, I do think. Although the sleep does land, and so does that grenade, so Junker Queen is in quite a bit of danger, but isn't quite going to fall as that orbital ray gets popped, and now Tufts is on the advance. Popping their Bob of their own, as Junker Queen also does have this Rampage now as well. The Shamrock does end up falling though without being able to use ulti, so that is a good early start to this fight. As yeah, I mean, there's not a lot that Juno can do when there's a nanoed up Orisa just walking at her in a straight line, and that should be the fight going over to UNC. Although the Tufts was able to pick up some kills in the backline, and it is actually Tufts picking up the win, despite the aggressive Orisa positioning.
I was about to say, you might need to hold what you just said right now, because Tufts did get some kills right at the end and turned the fight around, which made him win the match.
It kind of ended up being the tanks split up, the Orisa on Tufts' backline, and Azu on UNC's.
You know, I don't think I should mention it, but maybe we should mention it. You know, Orisa's name is quite interesting, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that is true. I think the thing that we did see a lot was the Orisa getting split off from the rest of the team, as in those later couple of maps, the Orisa was kind of getting singled out and isolated and murdered. So that's probably something we'll have to look for in these next couple of fights, or next couple of matches.
There you go. This should do it. For anybody wondering, I'm changing my keys for the, you know, from the players to like a different keys, because I was really uncomfortable right now trying to press F1, F2, F3. So hopefully this should work. But you know, I don't trust Overwatch very much, so we'll see right now. But it seems we're gonna be jumping into Numbani here.
Yeah. We'll see if people end up changing the picks. We did see a lot of Ashe on the last map, especially on that last segment where with the longer sight lines, I think. And that does seem to be something that UNC has been favoring.
Sorry, I was looking at I have like my Discord on to check any kind of messages regarding stream, and I was checking if I saw anything, but it seems you're good. Okay, let's test this out. Okay, never mind, not yet. But we are in Numbani, everybody. Let me change the scene. Okay, there you go. We are in. It
Yep.
is. What? How is this called? Hybrid.
Yes.
We're on hybrid, and yeah, you know, it's been a while since I played Overwatch. I've kind of forgotten a bit, but we are in hybrid, and it will. Numbani is UNC pick, given that Playfly works by loser's pick.
Yep, we do see Tufts rolling out on this dive comp, more or less. And it's almost mirrored on the side of UNC, but with the Juno instead of the Brig. I think so far Tufts has really been favoring this Brig. And I really would like to see a little bit more value coming out of it. And I think we will see that, especially when defending against the dive of the enemy Winston.
Tufts does play like to play Brig and against Shamrock's will as well, but it seems Shamrock can go into the Ana this time finally. I know that Shamrock doesn't like to play Brig a lot because they've never played it for a very long time. They haven't played it almost never. It's like one of their less played heroes. So seeing Shamrock in the Ana is somewhat refreshing. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if they can really make a difference on that on this map. We do also see the Echo coming out as this Ashe is getting pressured very, very hard, but doesn't actually end up falling. They're just barely able to survive, which is, I think, really, really big. The Genji playing very aggressive, but dropping low, not able to get too much done just yet.
Still.
And the first to go down is the Brigitte, as Tufts is forced off this point, and that might just be the cap for the side of UNC.
Yeah, getting the support out of the way, leaving Tufts without a lot of heals. Wait, both supports, right? Was it Shamrock and Wokorona?
I didn't quite catch the Ana death, but it might have been. I'm not entirely sure.
Maybe not, you know, I was just trying to... I wasn't checking their feet a lot. That's my mistake.
Yeah, the Winston drop low, not quite gonna fall, not quite gonna get any kills either. Just a bit of trading on either side. On these hybrid maps, I think in general, it's very, very easy to cap the first point, so we'll see. This will really be the test, as the Ashe does end up going down, so that is going to be a good early kill, and they should just be able to clean up the fight from here. Genji goes down, Winston as well, and that should be a good amount of push for UNC.
A huge leap right there coming from Shamrock in order to allow both supports to go back down and regroup with their team right here.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be very big. We are coming up on ultimates for a lot of members, especially on the side of UNC, as well as a handful from Tufts, who is quite behind on in terms of ult charge. As the Winston does end up diving in, not able to find anything just yet, but does have the primal whenever he does want to pop that. Kills being traded over back and forth, as it does seem like UNC has the slight advantage, yet popping the primal. I do think that will just be the point captured for UNC.
In the sleep.
Yeah, not quite able to land it. That is pretty big, as UNC does end up just capping the point, and this will be not quite actually, just the 0.25 meters left on the contest. But I don't think Tufts should be able to fight too hard from this. Well, they are going to pop the rally, so they are fully committing to this hold.
Yeah, Primeval here too.
Yeah, Primal Rage, the sleep lands but gets woken up immediately. Nano drop from UNC, as Azu is just tearing through UNC. Both Bobs pop, and Azu does end up going down, so a lot of ultis blown for so far, not too much. Bob has used 30 HP for the UNC Winston, but does not end up falling, and it is Tufts that is slowly starting to lose this fight. Picking up one on the backside, but UNC should just be able to cap that point, and they do end up doing that. And that's a lot of ultimates invested for really not that much time wasted. 5 minutes on the clock for UNC still.
So also they switch to Winston. Oh, Birdhouse almost falling down here. Let me switch to that POV.
Yeah, I mean, we do. The Dragon Blade is used. So far, not really able to get too much out of it. One kill going over, just the Echo so far, but that was, I want to say, not the most impactful Dragon Blade so far. Does end up still being enough to win the fight, which is good, as Azu pushing up for, a bit more forward actually does end up grabbing the Ash, which is quite big. That staggered recall will be pretty important for this upcoming fight.
Nice camera movement, Jymthegreat.
Yeah, absolutely. Shaking their head no. But yeah, so far just a bit more poking. As I say that, Burphouse does end up falling to the Echo in that little room. Definitely a pretty hard place for the Tracer to leave, as we do see this Echo picking up both DPS actually, and that should just be the fight going over to UNC, as they do seem very, very comfortable on this dive, especially that tank really diving forward very aggressively, which is, I think, something that we've seen throughout their play so far, but it does seem to be working so far on this attack. Yeah, I mean, as this orbital ray gets popped, I really don't think there's too much that Tufts can do, even with that rally pop. Yep, the brig does end up just going down right off the bat, and that should be UNC picking up a full capture on this attack.
3 minutes ago as well, so very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tough. Honestly, kind of an uphill battle here. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
They still have to do their attack, but I want to say 3 minutes on the time bank is a pretty hefty time here for the side of UNC, and a very, very dominant attack.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if Tufts can get the full cap, that will be pretty good for them, and it'll even things up a bit. But I mean, UNC looking very, very good on that attack.
Let's see what both teams have here. I'm interested to see what UNC is gonna rock here for their defense. Seems the same thing.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be something similar. I think Tufts is also going to go more or less the same. I don't expect this Widowmaker to stay or the Symmetra. It should just be for the rollout.
Yeah, there you go. Jim's switching back to the Genji. They know that we're streaming, so they definitely like trolling us.
Absolutely, yeah.
10 seconds here before Tubbs goes out. We will see if Burphouse will stay on this Widow pick. I'm very curious now because we're getting to 5 seconds. This might be happening, actually. Yeah.
It might also just be to look for an opening pick. I don't know if but it does seem like they are just going to roll out with the Widowmaker. So we'll see if we can get a similar performance as we saw in the previous series on King's Row. And it does look like right off the bat we do get that first kill, although they are traded out by the Echo.
SnapApp doing a lot of work here for the side of UNC, getting those critical kills, like even opening kills that are giving UNC so much numerical advantages throughout all the fights.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so far they have been a very, very pivotal player. And now with this positioning on this flank, just barely doesn't end up getting hit by that Widowmaker shot. As health bars are dropped low, but so far no kills going over just yet.
So I would say this is already a better start here for UNC compared to Tufts. No, UNC had already gotten an opening kill by then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, UNC's first capture was very, very fast, whereas Tufts is taking this quite a bit slower. But that is the Juno going down, and that might just be the fight as well, as Azu jumps in onto the backline, picks up the Ana. That's going to be both healer sound for UNC, and that should just be Tufts taking control of this first point.
Oh. Kind of let the Genji die there, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't think it should make too much of a difference though. Tufts is just able to pick up the point right back up, and that is going to be a pretty considerable time bank as well. Not quite as fast as UNC, but I think it'll be okay regardless.
We're gonna take into account as well that because Jymthegreat actually revived before the cap point, the Genji has to come all the way back from original spawn, so it'll take a while before the full team is back.
They did implement a feature where you can press F to change spawns if the spawn room changes. And you haven't left spawn, so Jymthegreat should be able to actually rejoin pretty fast.
Oh, look at the echo of the flank. Did actually get Shamrock there.
Yeah, I mean, being pressured out by this Widowmaker as the Winston does end up going down, but it is Jymthegreat also going down once again. Tufts is still managing to push pretty handily, even though the kills were in favor of UNC. They are just letting them have a bit more of this pressure, a bit more of this push as they advanced towards that midway capture point.
Oh, jumping into this Widow through the flank. Rally comes out,
Yeah,
able to keep them
Rally
alive.
comes out and they're able to keep them very, very safe. Forced to primal now, but maybe they're able to boop somebody off the edge. Not quite, and it does look like this primal is just going to be end up using defensively. Wow, I'm struggling to speak today. Genji and Brigitte traded out on the side of Tufts as Widowmaker falls off the map.
Going for the reset.
Yep. 3 ultis on the side of Tufts in compared to 4 for UNC. We'll see if that ends up making a difference. As it's just more of this trading going out on either side. And it is actually the Ashe that ends up dropping first, as this Birdhouse does swap onto the Ashe themselves and is putting a lot of pressure onto this Echo. The Nano Brig, I'm not entirely sure if that was intentional, but it does seem to be working so far, as Tufts is winning the fight.
I think that was for survival purposes.
Yeah, I didn't really see catch what was happening dive-wise, but the Nano does end up being used, and they do win the fight. But very importantly, UNC does not use a single ultimate during that engagement, as Tufts caps the point. And Tufts is just left with the Dragon Blade now, as the Ashe doesn't end up going down. Yeah, I mean, just damage going across so far, nothing super relevant. But UNC should be able to win this next fight very, very handily with the ultimates they have available.
Q Simulator
Winston is dropping very, very fast, but yep, there it goes. That's the nano boost as Tufts is scrambling backwards on the retreat. Azu is purple and does end up falling, but so does the UNC Winston, and that's an ulti basically completely nullified. But Birdhouse does end up dropping as well, so it is a 3v4 in favor of UNC so far, and it does look like Tufts is going to have to fall back for now.
Yes, with this team fight, UNC will get a better time than Tufts, no matter what happens. And it seems SnapHap is going through the flank, gonna pop that ultimate, going for that Ana, and melts the Ana.
One-shot the Ana, as the duplicate is also used. The rally used as well pops the Echo out of the duplicate, but drops very, very low in response and does end up falling. It's a couple of kills being traded out on either side, and the Genji does not end up managing to find the Echo on the backside. The Primal does end up getting used, the sleep goes wide, as it's just the Winston wreaking havoc on this backline of Tufts so far, and they are in a pretty dire position now, although they are coming up on a bunch of ultimates of their own.
That sleep was, you know... It was unfortunate at best, to be a bit friendly.
But that is actually a quick Ashe duel win, but the grenade actually ends up picking up the kill on the backside. So it's Ashe's traded out. So far, no other kills. It's a clean 4v4. Azu putting a lot of pressure towards these spawn doors, as the Echo gets dropped very, very low. UNC does have the spawn advantage, as the Genji does end up falling, but the juggle is very, very good and ends up picking up a kill onto the Ana. Bob gets dropped, applying tons of pressure onto this front line now, as the Winston does drop, as does the Ashe from UNC, and this should just be the cap going over to Tufts. Not quite as much time on the time bank, but is also a full capture.
Which is what matters.
Yes, 100%. As long as they have time on the time bank, the second pushes will be relatively close. Alright, UNC back on the attack as this map is stretching out for quite a while. We'll see if Tufts can have a better showing this time on the defense. Maybe swapping to the Widowmaker this time. And it does look like that is actually going to happen. Is Jymthegreat maybe baiting us?
I hope not. Yeah, Jymthegreat really loves baiting us.
Is in fact baiting us, having a little bit of fun with the casters, but it is going to be the Widowmaker again, and we'll see if that ends up sticking. As I lied, it is actually Tufts on the attack.
Yeah. They do have the worst time. Jymthegreat is having fun now that he's part of the Overwatch team, so he definitely wants to take advantage of trolling the audience and the production and the casters and everybody.
I would have loved to see the Bastion roll out, but it does not look like that is going to happen.
Already 1 to 1 minute.
Yep, 1 minute on the clock in order to attack this point. Azu jumping forward. Not quite able to kills traded out actually as I say that. It's Genji for Ana.
That was interesting.
Walking very, very aggressively. Walks face first into the Winston and the Echo and ends up dying right away. The Winston is purple and does just barely survive as the Ashe goes down on the side of UNC as well. Tufts starting to make progress towards this point as this Winston just playing very, very far forward. Kind of in between the front line and back line as the Genji goes down again, but it is traded out for the Winston, which I have to say does seem like it would be worth it. But the Winston does end up falling from the side of Tufts as well, so it is a pretty even fight, slightly favoring UNC so far. As Burbhouse is on this Tracer for the attack. So far, not able to find much, does end up falling, and Tufts is not having a good time on this attack at all, gets absolutely no progress, and it does look like this is very, very favored towards UNC. As long as they can touch that point even a little bit, they should be able to just win.
Yeah. Yeah, so 3 minutes here for UNC to cap 57.7% of point 1. Tufts really has an uphill battle coming from here. There's definitely no way a draw will happen because Tufts did at least cap more than 1 tick.
Yes.
But it'll be here. It'll be very difficult.
It is looking very, very difficult. As Tufts will basically need to win every fight without letting UNC touch the point pretty much at all because of just the way these hybrid maps work where the first point is just so easy to capture.
And we are only 2 maps in and we've already done more time than last time. We're in 40 minutes of live stream.
Incredible. Definitely a more back and forth series than what we saw last time.
Yeah, and I feel like if UNC wins this map, it'll keep going. It'll keep being like that.
We will finally see a 4th map this series.
True. Asu?
Asu getting a little bit stuck there. Does not end up falling. So far all good for the side of Tufts, but they're going to have to keep this up for another 2.5 minutes. Burbhouse dropped to 10 HP, but does not end up falling, as it is the Juno that ends up going down first for the side of UNC. Traded out for the Ana, so still looking relatively even so far. Tracer does end up going quite far forward, but does not end up falling, as the Ashe does end up getting picked off from the side of UNC. So far, so good for Tufts, but we will see if they can keep this up for another minute and a half.
I mean, they have burned already basically a minute and a half, so already great progress being done as House does get another kill on
Yeah,
Snap
absolutely.
Hap.
And that looked pretty awkward. Explodes themselves with the sticky grenades. That's definitely a bit awkward, as Tracer does end up going down to the Ash of UNC, but that's more time being burned from UNC as they struggle to pick up the rest of this point. If Tufts can take this, this would be a pretty big win.
Yeah, I wouldn't lie.
Very close map.
They've been at a disadvantage, I would say, for like most of the maps. So being able to just close this out after, I wouldn't say shaky, but a very good showing from UNC will be very,
Yeah, absolutely.
very
Leaf does end up going through, forcing Azu to pop the Primal, but it does end up working out as they grab the kill right off the bat. 2 kills from this Primal so far, although the rest of UNC is kind of aggressing onto Tufts' backline. But that is quite a few kills going over, and it's just the Winston left, even after the duplicate is popped. Actually, Echo does just barely manage to escape. No, they don't. And that's Tufts picking up another clean 5 for 0.
Asu was
it does look like
incredible.
that was incredible.
That was incredible tag gameplay.
Azu doing their best Goucher impression in order to pick up 2 kills with that Primal.
I'm gonna say this because they're playing Winston, but also like showing their Primal instinct right there.
Yeah, I mean, 2 ults from the side of Tufts. The Nano gets popped. Azu going forward onto UNC's backline. Gets slept, but it doesn't matter. Tufts ends up picking up the map.
They don't touch point.
Incredible. Yeah, they weren't able to touch at all. I mean, really brilliantly played from Tufts. Quite a nail-biter of a map, actually. And it is not the Tufts Winston that ends up getting play of the game for that one.
Yeah, this was both tanks play really good matches, but that last play from Austin was
absolutely.
just like wow to just keep an eye on as everything went on. I think that was like quite a decider to give Tufts that advantage in that final minute and just like run the clock down to have the ult advantage going into the last fight, allowing Asu to pressure the Ash and the Ana, and Bear has to just go in and get a kill, which basically gave them the advantage if even they managed to force overtime in that final.
Yeah,
because I don't want to say fight like 50 times, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. I think just really well done. Well played from Tufts towards the end there. I think they struggled a bit in the early couple of stages, but they managed to claw it back. They're really building up this momentum again. And we'll see if that can carry over onto the third map, which I believe is Flashpoint.
Yep. Last week it was Flashpoint. I don't think it has changed. I don't know what Playfly has set as the rules this time. I don't know if they change week by week or like throughout the middle of the regular season. But if we follow same rules as last week, it should be Flashpoint.
And we are still undecided whether or not we will ever see a push map this year.
Yeah, Surabasa.
Awesome.
So
we'll see if anything crazy happens on this map. With the smaller spaces and the flashpoints.
So UNC here asking for a quick minute of intermission. So we'll wait here, just chilling. Just wait here until the next map starts. Yeah, Flashpoint. And as you said, I don't know what the chances are of seeing a push map this year. I hope so. I'll be happy to, but my doubts are extremely high.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've seen a lot of 3 Overwatch, so
honestly, I wish that can change, but I think that's not going to change. Last semester was a lot of fun because we didn't have 3 Overwatch. But I do think we might have that for a lot of the times this year.
Tufts on pace for another bit of 3 Overwatch this series, at least, as we wait for Surabasa to happen.
Yeah, we're waiting for the other team. If they take a bit more a minute, we will go ourselves into an intermission so we can give, our voices some time to rest.
Hmm.
But the reason why I haven't done it yet is because we are still. They said it will take them a minute, so we do hope it'll take them a minute. They might be going over some strategies. I won't lie. They do seem to have a very large team with coaches and everything. So they might be reviewing some stuff right now, which is completely understandable. And we will be just waiting here until we go back into
Yeah,
map 3. It is true.
and it
UNC
would make
now
sense.
has to pull up the reverse sweep.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a tough one for UNC. I imagine that last loss is very, very demoralizing, especially after the early lead that they got off to. So we'll see if they can bring it back.
I'm going to say right now, and I'm going to say this during live stream, but I do have a feeling that we are currently. No, that right now, I might be pulling us into an intermission on stream, but the moment I do that, we are going to be we're going to be sent to map 3, and I'm going to come back immediately. So, you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to intermission right now, and I'll see you in 30 seconds when they decide to start on Suravasa and hopefully get some more maps. So
Sounds like a plan.
we'll be right back. I'm gonna bet it's gonna be 30 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. It was actually 1 minute and 20 seconds right now. I had the timer on, and I can let Joel know that it was 1 minute 20 seconds. I was not quite right, but it's still pretty right because if I entered intermission as soon as. Okay, never mind. They won a sub.
Oh, wow. Okay. Right back to intermission.
Wait, maybe not because it won't take this long.
Or that's true.
But we will
Right back
be
to the pause.
going back to the lobby, I imagine, right here, right now.
Yes.
Or they were no, they're doing those changes now, and then we'll be back in Suravasa. But yeah, quite funny that I was saying 1 minute 20 seconds, and then the first thing that happens when we get back is that UNC wants a sub.
Okay.
Okay, it seems they're doing those changes now.
Swapping out their Juno player, I believe.
Okay, it seems that they have done the switches now. So sub coming
We
in,
should.
if I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be uh Raichu for Psychic. So we are in. Substitutions have
Oh,
been made.
and interestingly enough, the Juno player is actually going to swap. Xerxes is going to swap onto the Juno, as Psychic comes into play, I believe, the Brigitte.
Yeah, so wait, wasn't Cersei? Oh, okay, no, I'm messing up my names here. I thought Cersei was playing on DPS, but I realized that no, I was just tripping.
Yeah, both teams rocking up with the Brigitte, and it's going to be Asher Burphouse in combat with the Echo for SnapHap, who had a lot of success last map on that pick.
Snap, going for those flanks once again. But
Yeah, gets dropped very, very low, but does not end up quite falling. Tufts able to grab the first pick, or first flip of the point. Starting to build up that capture percentage already, and it is Tufts getting 2 picks right off the bat. Grabbing the 3rd and the 4th now, and it is going to be a pretty clean, possibly team kill. Does not look like it's quite a team kill, but a very dominant first fight win.
Yeah, and with how long this first fight took, and Tufts immediately taking the point, by the way. Tufts already up to 50%, so little fights left on this first flashpoint.
Yeah, I mean, these flashpoint maps happen, flashpoint points happen so fast, so Tufts definitely off to a very, very good start here. Whoa. And Jymthegreat actually just straight up goes down without even having a chance to use the ice block, which is a pretty big difference here. Xerxes does end up getting traded out on the backside, and it is now a 4v4 for the side of Tufts versus UNC. And the Orisa does end up dropping, as Tufts able to hold on just a little bit better than UNC without the one of their healers. And that's just going to be the first point headed over. Slipping in favor of Tufts, UNC has a very, very difficult journey ahead of them if they hope to take this series back.
Yeah, only took 2 team fights here for Tufts to already get the first flashpoint. So with how dominant Tufts is showing right now, it is looking very hard for UNC. But given how they've been doing first and second map, I do believe that they can put up a fight here.
Yeah, absolutely. And also just looking at the ultimate progression, Tufts is basically at 5 ultimates right now. And it does look like the ultimates are getting popped on every side. Burphouse gets up, drop low, does end up falling, traded out for the Orisa, which I think is very, very worth it. Orisa, Azu really just going forward here, as the SnapHap ends up going down as well, and it is going to be Tufts slightly better at pressing their Q buttons than UNC so far.
Qver Watch? Can that be a statement now? Can that be a word now? Qver Watch? You know, we just put a line on the O and convert it to a Q. And now it's Qver Watch.
I mean, more or less. We saw a bunch of circles get put down on the ground. As actually Jymthegreat goes down again, right off the bat without being able to use their ice block, and that is Tufts being set behind quite a bit on this early fight. Shamrock getting dropped low, pops the rally, isn't just barely able to manage to survive, but does end up getting traded out in the end. And this should be the fight going over for in favor of UNC, as we see Burphouse coach gunning themselves back into a wall.
Love to see that.
Oh, interesting. We do actually see the Hera Surge getting popped, which is very, very interesting. Because I would have thought that with the numbers advantage, UNC would have felt pretty comfortable just taking the fight win here. Overtime does end up flipping 99% in favor of Tufts as the fights keep going, but I mean, this should be a relatively easy cleanup in favor of UNC. Tufts, I think, just really needs to regroup here and look back to get one more fight win, and that should be the second point.
So the reason why the Orisa popped up was mostly because of health. And I don't think UNC really wants to lose their players right now when Tufts was already reaching 99%. Tufts was stalling, and they know that one team fights everything they need to get the second flashpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. Orbital Ray gets popped from both teams, I believe. And trading going over. Azu able to pick up a kill onto the Mei, and the Orisa falling as well, so that should be Tufts picking up this fight and the second point. Rally does end up getting popped, but it should not make a difference here. Gets speared out of the point and killed. And that is going to be Tufts taking that second point.
No, the
End
Bob!
up being on the point! That's unfortunate. The point does not end up getting flipped. Still fighting, actually. A bit of trading back and forth. UNC has managed to regroup a bit, but Azu pops the Terra Surge and is able to pick up the kill into the Mei right again. And that should... Second Terra Surge for the health doesn't end up getting anything. That should finally... well, I maybe need to stop saying that, as this fight has been going on for what seems like a millennia. The overtime finally drains away, and that is going to be Tufts picking up the series point, actually, on this last flashpoint.
I understand UNC's forcefully trying to just hold on to that point, see if they can come back, but wasting all of those ults as the Bob and Orissa's ult, which I forgot how it's called, I do think it's going to put him here at disadvantage going into this third point, as Tufts already has 2 ults up once again, and almost a third.
That Blizzard as well, yeah. I mean, it's looking really good for Tufts here, honestly. I think they're definitely ahead in momentum and the morale standpoint, and also just have been playing quite well. Rally popped, able to just really press forward here with that aggressive rally. Just bonking this Orisa, and it drops them low, but not quite able to pick up the kill. And finally, there it is. That's the kill. Orbital Ray popped, but it's a bit too late. 2 kills do end up getting picked up using that Orbital Ray. The wall, pretty good, but and Tufts able to get quite a bit of percentage onto this first point.
Tufts definitely might be looking here for a stall, given that they lost Asu, the tank, right immediately. But, you know, they're still getting those kills.
Asu should be coming back shortly, yeah. They are picking up the kills, so Tufts can honestly probably just stall this for, you know, a good 70%, right? I don't think that there's a lot that UNC can do here, even if they end up picking up every member of Tufts. I mean, it's still just a very, very clean stall. 70% on this point, on this last flashpoint. It's 30% more on a flashpoint for Tufts to just take the series in another 3-0 fashion. Just more trading going over. UNC building up a couple of ultimates now. 70% towards 3 of them, with 2 already available. With Tufts having 2 of their own right now. A lot of ultimate popped so far. Bob does end up getting shredded, but so does Azu. I don't think that's a trade that you will generally be willing to take. Azu doesn't end up popping the Terra Surge, and it's just the Orbital Ray used on the side of Tufts in exchange for the Bob and the Rally for UNC. But that might actually be UNC able to pick up this point, because Tufts really has to touch here, and UNC has 3 ultimates still. So they might just be able to grab this second point. Yeah, I don't think so either. I think Tufts are just going to regroup. Yep, they give up this point, and they just move on to the next one.
Yeah, Tufts knowing that they should have 2 more tries to just completely close out the series, so they're definitely not going to take any more risks here like UNC has been doing.
Okay, I mean, ulti's being popped. Shamrock is the first to fall. Both supports from the side of Tufts end up going down, and that's just going to be a clean 5-0 kill, with the Orisa picking up quite a few of those. And I mean, it's just a team kill right off the bat. But that is 2 ultimates popped from the side of UNC, and that is going to be a pretty significant advantage for Tufts now in order to reclaim this point, as they're coming up onto 4 ultimates.
I'm pretty sure it'll be Tufts' turn now to press Q.
It does look like that is the case. Azu walking forward with that spear spin. Just dealing damage for now. The Bob does end up getting popped. Able to put quite a bit of pressure onto that backline. Burbhouse doing a good job of pressuring the Ashe from the side of UNC. Just a little bit of trading back and forth. Jymthegreat is the first to fall from the Terra Surge. OW2 pops the Terra Surge of their own. It doesn't look like they're actually going to... Oh! Somehow the Rig ends up getting caught in that. OW2 does end up trading their life for it. And it is actually UNC who is going to be able to pick up this point as well. A lot of ultimates just don't end up getting popped. I think maybe Tufts just doesn't decide it's worth it. So it is going to be match point, and once again, still series point for Tufts.
I think the break walked into that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fully charged Terra Surge. I would have expected nobody to be in it, but Rig ends up going down somehow. It's not enough for Tufts to actually win the fight, though. Tufts with the Blizzard and both support ultimates yeah, I mean, so far it really has just been UNC being more aggressive with pulling the trigger on these ultimates, and it's Shamrock and Burbhouse to end up falling right off the bat, even though they end up popping 2 ultimates of their own. And I mean, despite a very, very good early start for Tufts to this map, UNC is really clawing it back.
Yeah, 24%. 2 more team fights to go, depending how fast Tufts is. Burbhouse... No, that's actually a pretty big stagger that right there, I'm not gonna lie. And...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, from what it looked to be like just a 3 Overwatch, now it's looking like we might go into a map 4.
Yeah, I mean, you could be seeing 3-1 Overwatch or 3-2 Overwatch even.
Well, I mean, that should be normal, right?
One would hope. Blizzard ends up getting popped. Azu pops the Fortify in order to walk right out of it. Sitting on the point right now, I don't know if anyone from UNC is going to contest. So far, it is looking like no, but they do end up popping it. Blizzard ends up getting dropped as well, and Tufts should just be able to flip the point right here. But the fight is still very much up in the air. Using the wall as an offensive tool to get onto that high ground. Really, really nice well played from Jymthegreat. Grabbing the kill into the Mei, but does end up dropping in the process as they back up into a wall. I mean, oh, that orbital ray was really, really big as well. Able to grab 3 from the side of Tufts, and this should just be the map, actually, in favor of UNC. And it is not going to be 3 Overwatch today.
Yeah, we actually won't have 3 Overwatch.
And we will see a push map. Incredible.
Wait, actually, that's map 4? I'm
Yes,
so unaware
map
myself.
4. I do believe so.
Oh, we got sent back. Damn, they didn't want to show the play of the game or what? Was Tufts mad that they lost?
Maybe. I mean, so far we've been seeing like a really, really good performance from the tank of UNC, I think.
And Snap
They've been
for
playing
DPS
really, really
too.
well. Yeah, I think so. That's definitely true as well. But Orisa picking up a lot of those kills, and Snap doing really well on these off angles and flanks, especially with that Echo.
So it seems Tufts is currently deciding what to play next. We saw a new map that I don't remember how it's called. Now we are on New Queen Street. Now we see Coliseum. Oh, it seems they are going for Coliseum.
Alright, and it's going to be Coliseum. And this is with glass panes removed, so we'll see if
Wait, they removed it?
anything interesting ends up happening. Yep, see, no glass.
Oh my god. When was this updated?
A while ago. It's been a hot minute.
I just realized.
Well, there's your fun fact.
You can
for
see me
this
exploring
Overwatch
right
stream.
here.
They removed the glass panes from Coliseum, so you can walk around. It's no longer a closed-off hallway anymore. I'm curious to see what comps they end up rolling with on this map, because I think you do have some of these really long sight lines, especially down that big corridor. So it might still just be the Ashe, and it does look like that is going to be the case. We might see Azu on the Sumatra, though, which is something that we've seen with dubious success so far.
We saw a bit of it in map 1, and then they lost that point, and then they switched back to Junker Queen, and then they won.
Yeah, so we'll see if the Ramatra ends up having a big impact here.
Play Reinhardt.
I do think the pick is quite good. I don't think Reinhardt will be the play.
Play Reinhardt.
I don't think Reinhardt will be very good, but as Azu leaves the spawn point, I do not believe Reinhardt will end up getting locked in.
Damn. My wishes were not fulfilled.
Once again, Snap up on these flanks does have to coach gun out right away. And it's just more trading. I mean, Snapmap has been really aggressively looking for these flanks so far. Does end up getting dropped very, very low once again, but not quite going to fall. Just more damage being traded down either side. Azu getting dropped low again, but no kills going over so far. And yeah, I mean, it's just a neutral game. Yeah, I mean, so far, actually, very, very few kills. And it is going to be the Brig dropping first, right? The punch is able to go right through that Brig shield, and the Orisa falls as well. Snapmap is 1 HP, doesn't, finally getting dropped, and it's going to be Tufts able to grab first control of this spot.
Not gonna lie, that wall from Saki right there, just isolating their own Orisa.
Yeah. Azu basically has this annihilation. Yep, has it now.
That's so fast.
It's going, yeah, very, very fast. It's almost 2 ultimates for the side of Tufts. Same for UNC. Orisa getting dropped very, very low once again, but once again, not a kill being able to get traded over. The satellite vector is going to end up locked, but no kills so far, or both orbital rays dropped, both tank ultimates dropped, and it is going to be the Juno getting killed first, followed by that Mei. That should just be another fight over to Tufts. I don't think the Orisa can do anything about it. Oh.
Jim?
That did not look intentional. That was in fact a misclick.
Jim?
We love to see it. It's okay. Jim just making sure those roads are a little bit colder.
Good job, Jim.
That's going to be pretty big. That is one ultimate that Tufts no longer has access to. But the Mei on the opposing side gets dropped out, so they're not even able to use the blizzard advantage that they have so fortunately accrued. Bob going to get locked in. And Full Corona is going to end up falling. But Tufts technically is not behind right now. Ends up grabbing both Xerxes and Snapmap, so that's going to be probably another fight win. And they are now past the butt scratch, so they do have the forward spawns. But as I say, that Shamrock does end up getting dropped.
I think Jim's here for revenge.
For the push at least. Jim is here, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do too much. Pops the ice block, but they are in the middle of 4 members with no blizzard. Those roads are going to stay very warm.
I wonder if that blizzard could have done some difference in that last team fight.
Oh, absolutely. I think if blizzard was still around, it would have made a big difference. So, a pretty relevant misclick there. Definitely not what you want to do.
Pretty transcendental misclick.
UNC pushing forward once again, back to this midpoint. But once again, it's just neutral, no kills being traded over. The rally gets popped, playing very, very aggressively. So does the Terra Surge and the Blizzard and the Orbital Ray. So a lot of circles going down on the ground on the side of UNC as Azu also walks forward with this Annihilation. So all of the circles being put on the ground, and it is Tufts that looks like they're going to be able to press Q better.
Well, they still have 3 ults up and running.
Yeah, I mean they pressed 2 ultimates, and that was enough to beat UNC's 3. So Tufts definitely has a very, very big advantage now, as long as Jymthegreat does not press Blizzard in the middle of nowhere again.
Hopefully not. Should I add that Asu has gotten 2 annihilations in 5 minutes?
Yeah, I mean the Annihilation build-up has been very, very fast. Oz has been doing a fantastic job so far, and it actually, wow, even without with just the orbital ray, Ozu gets 4? Is this gonna be the 5k? No, stolen by Volcarona.
Volcarona stealing the ace. No way. How could
Yeah, not able to pick up the 5k because of those damn supports.
How could they, you know? Always ruining the fun.
Volcarona puts down the orbital ray, sets Azu up for the 4k, and says, no, the last one is mine. Yeah, once again, Azu picking up more kills here, as they just walk forward. The Brigitte really struggling into this Ramatra, as those punches are landing, punch after punch. And this might actually just be a map completion from the side of Tufts. That is actually going to happen. The Blizzard gets popped as the game ends, and Tufts picks up a 3-1 victory. Very, very close on a lot of these fights, I think. That second map could have definitely gone either direction, as could the third. And I don't think anyone's surprised to see Azu here.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either. That last minute, I just stayed on Azu POV, and you saw what they did. I cannot say anything else.
And here we see that dastardly kill stolen.
So it'll be a 3-1 victory. I'm definitely happy that we went to a full 4 map this time around instead of a 3 Overwatch. And let's try bringing Shamrock in here.
Sounds good. That was our request from last time.
Yeah.
So.
For everybody to know, my message is, it is thy time for thy interview, while tagging Shamrock.
Hello.
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 How are you doing? How are you feeling after a 3-1 victory tonight?
I'm good. We're all feeling good. I hope you guys enjoyed the matches.
We definitely had lots of content from that map to the fun content blizzard that we saw on Coliseum.
We love to see.
Yeah, so, I'm gonna go and ask the first question then. Everything, it looked a bit shaky on the start when Yo went out, and I don't remember, were they running the Orisa right from the get-go? Yes, they were running the Orisa comp, and Yo got run over like the first point of Atlantic Peninsula. There you go. You're not the only one who's having issues to articulate their words tonight. I'm also having that issue, as you can see right now. But yeah, how do you all come back from that? What do you all think? What was going on between the team comps to go back that second and third point and just win it?
So we knew that map on Antarctic Peninsula wasn't our strongest. I think we played it last week as well, and we also, or I don't remember if we played this last week, but I think in scrims we also played this, and it was this map that we just didn't win. So we knew it wasn't our strongest map. So after that round was over, we were like, yeah, we got the next 2, all good, and then we just did it and we won. So that didn't really affect their confidence or anything. It was just it was a close round, and then we just moved on.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Speaking of close rounds, you guys made this really brilliant nail-biting comeback on map 2. So I mean, talk me through it. What was going on? How did that happen?
So I think Numbani was not in the map pool last year we played, so we never played, or we rarely ever played Numbani. So we just we're like, let's do dive. So we were all kind of just warming up, we're the support line, everybody was playing different heroes, and we kind of struggled a bit in the beginning because it's a different comp different map. But yeah, we pulled through till the end.
Yeah, I mean that was really a joy to watch. Watching that come back.
Yeah.
Um,
I was gonna ask a question. How does it feel playing Brig when I know that Brig is one of your strongest
Oh my god, I'm
heroes?
pretty sure I had like most deaths on like every single one of these maps. Brig is so new. She has such a different play style, and like I'm that support player who likes to play in the back line most of the time, and Brig requires such an aggressive play style. So it's definitely very new for me. Being at the enemy's faces, bashing their faces, but it works out. I'm still learning, which is good because I wanna be as flexible as I can as a support player, and like it'd be nice to have Brig in my hero pool.
yeah, I mean, and we definitely saw it work out, even if there were a couple of hiccups along the way. Um, and then yeah, I mean, the last map was pretty dominant, very straightforward. Even if there were some questionable moments.
Shout out to Jymthegreat for that. Thank you for giving
Oh
us the
my
content.
Oh my god, that was funny.
Thank you for the amazing content. But also just came back, and how many annihilations did they get in like that last map? Like 3, 4 in like 10 minutes,
Something
8
like that,
minutes.
yeah.
Oh my god, I don't even think Noah had any deaths, or it was maximum one. I don't.
Yeah,
Was
I
popping
mean,
off. Our tank was
they
popping
were
off.
definitely popping off, especially with the
Yeah,
4K at the end that got
yeah.
so brutally
Stolen by
stolen.
Violet.
Yeah, I don't have any more questions. I don't know if you do have any, Rose.
No, I don't have anything else. I mean, it was a great series. It was a great series. Congrats on the win.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you
Anything
for
else you would like to
casting.
say?
Me?
Yeah, I'm giving you the floor.
Oh, I don't know. Not much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for producing and casting. You guys are the
Your
best.
fans that requested your interview as well.
Thank you.
Oh yes, Penelope and Jay. Woo! Shout out. We'll see you next week for the next match then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that, we should close it. Thank you all for coming. It was a lot of fun. We didn't see 3 Overwatch. We saw 3 Overwatch. Did that come out right? I hope you all enjoyed it as we did. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. May you have a great rest of your night and rest of your week. And if you're here for Overwatch, we should see you here next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Yeah, thank you. And thank you to the players, the casters, everybody, and have a great night.